So welcome back to Blue Collar Startup, members only section.
Yes.
Fourth marketing video, I think at this point. Did I lose count already?
I'm losing track, man.
All right. Well, probably one of the more important ones for somebody starting up, besides a website and logo, but grassroots marketing.
Grassroots.
Here with Mike, co-founder of Blue Collar Startup, and we're going to talk all about grassroots marketing. So, what does it mean? We've said it a lot, but
It's funny too. So I use the term guerrilla marketing, grassroots marketing. To me, all of it is kind of like when you're kind of doing it yourself and you're doing whatever you can to get the word out about your business, right? Like you're doing it. You're not paying a marketing company. It's like you're out there. Maybe you're handing out flyers or you're cold calling. I think a lot of sales stuff that people think of as sales, I think that's just marketing. I think it's important to think about what the definition of marketing is. And marketing is anything you do, right, that's going to generate interest in your product or service. And the formula that we kind of apply to that is marketing is the act of identifying a group of people that has a specific set of problems and getting them to think of you as the solution. Yeah. Like when we do ads, we do a lot of different stuff. Like that's the formula my team is supposed to follow. But yeah, grassroots. It could be anything, man.
So for somebody just starting out, and we talked about it in our last segment, but getting out, pounding the pavement, doing whatever you can. Maybe taking money that you think you should invest on, a social media platform. It's real easy to spend money on Facebook ads and, Google ads. But at the end of the day, people in your community are going to be the ones to get behind you and help you build your business. Referrals, yard signs, vehicle wraps.
Yeah. We
kill it with vehicle wraps. I mean,
people,
we see your vehicles all over the place and, they're pretty loud.
Yeah.
And, but they're noticeable. We actually, not only marketing for services, but for hiring staff. We put QR codes on there. It goes right to the Indeed site. So we've gotten creative over the last year and a half. What's the best type of grassroots marketing in your opinion?
Yeah, actually, before I answer that question, going back to like your vehicle wraps.
Yeah.
So let's see, years and years and years and years ago, I owned a property management company, right? And we used to do we did lawn and snow and all that fun stuff. And I sold that company and went to work for a large commercial outfit. Mm-hmm. And these guys had they still do Smurf blue pickup trucks. Okay. So now if you're in our area, like if you're up in the Glens Falls, Saratoga market, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? Great guys. Yeah. And every truck they had was Smurf blue. And so people knew those trucks. You saw those trucks coming. You knew they were like the brand. And again, they didn't have to go as far as lettering up their vehicles. It was literally a Smurf blue truck with their logo magnet on the door.
Yeah.
Right? But that color was so identifiable. And it was really funny because I remember when we were, I don't know, I say small, but we were, still pretty good size, maybe 100, 150 employees in the winter. Yeah. And you would think, man, that there was 7,000 trucks running around that area, but really it was only like 7 trucks. You
might see one 4 times in a week.
That's right, or 4 times in a day, especially during a snowstorm, because you'd have all these plow trucks running around. So it's, the idea, and that comes back to like your brand awareness, brand recognition, and comes back to having very set characteristics for your brand. But so I just want to say that because you said it about your wraps. Again, brand recognition and having people see your logo wherever you can.
Especially for a small business in a small town community. It goes a long way.
Yeah, you want people to see it.
Absolutely.
You want people to see it. But that ties in with, grassroots marketing. If you were to say to me, what's the best one? I think I said this in one of the other videos, the best way to get your name out there is just to hustle and go out there and put it out there. And, I find that when business owners are new or young in their businesses, They all want marketing because they don't want to do the sales activities that everybody hates. But I gotta be honest with you, I think the sales activities are the ones that you need to do the most, especially in the beginning. You know, like you don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing, and honestly, when I don't care who you are going to waste money doing the wrong marketing until you find what works, and until you can, you know, cover the loss or not feel the loss of that marketing money. I'm saying, you know, what you can do as your business owner, what you can personally do for marketing, for sales, to get yourself new business, that's the best thing that you should do. What you personally can do. And that may be, you know, if you're, again, plumber, right? We're still talking about the plumbers. That may be calling up every single person you know and saying, hey, I'm a plumber if you didn't know it, and I'm looking for new clients. If something happens, give me a call, right? And then you're going to take that list of people that you called and you're going to send them a letter a week later saying, hey, listen, I called you last week. Not sure if you got my message, but I'm a plumber and I want your business. And then a week after that, maybe you're out knocking on doors, going to your buddies' houses and saying, hey, just a reminder, I'm a plumber and I want your business. I mean, that's really, I think, what we're talking about is just telling people what you do, and you have to ask for the business. And I think about years and years and years ago, when I first got into the business community, right? I was no longer being a bartender or, you know, mowing lawns on the side or whatever. And I got my first job in quote unquote business, and I did loans, right? And I worked my way up to managing this mortgage office, and I had a kid that worked for me, and he was telling me about one of his really good friends was getting a mortgage, and it wasn't through us. And I was like, what are you talking about? How is this person not getting a loan through you? And he's like, you know, I asked her that, and she told me that she didn't know that that's what I did. And this was like something that he knew really, 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 really well. And I'm like, so you, bottom line, didn't tell this person what you do and didn't ask for the business. And I think that no matter what you do, people got to know. And then as you grow, like when you see people doing all this marketing and all the stuff that we do for our clients, it's on a scale, because they've already told everyone that they know of what they do, and they've already asked everyone they know for their business. And now they're trying to reach people that they don't know. Yeah. And that's where marketing companies like mine come into play, because we're going to help you get in front of people that you don't know at a scale that you could never do on your own. Mm-hmm. But until you need that scale, until you have this comes back to a market share question too, right? When do I start doing those other things? Well, when you're getting all the business from the people that you can possibly get that you know, and you own 100% of that market share, then we need to increase your marketing area and then increase market share there with people you don't know. So I don't know if that's a good answer. Maybe I overtalked it, but
it's a great answer. I think it doesn't cost you anything to pick up the phone. You already pay for the phone.
Right.
You know, you email, you can get on there and send emails to your network, and it's important to leverage that. You already know the people, they trust you.
Yeah.
I think, in talking to, some business owners and people who, start out, and I think the biggest thing is the fear of rejection. Mm-hmm. What does that, and, I know with, Sandler training, we talk about head trash and everything else, right? So, there's a lot of truth to it. And how can somebody overcome that fear? Because that'll stop you in your tracks.
Yeah. Well, I want to say too, as you just mentioned, Sandler training, and big shout out locally to Matt and the crew at Sandler down here. I'll tell you, as soon as you can afford to, get your ass some Sandler training.
Matt just emailed me earlier today. Actually.
I'm telling you, it's the best. That stuff changed my life. Changed the way that I sell. And I think that anybody that takes it is not wasting money. I think it's well worth the money. It's not cheap. It's not for everybody, but they're going to talk to you about, and my answer is going to, nobody wants to, people hate salespeople, right? And no one wants to be that pest or whatever. But bottom line, like, if you're going to be successful in business, and I'm not speaking from a place of a high level of success, I'm speaking from a place of climbing, scratching and clawing to get where I've gotten so far, and continuing to scratch and climb to get further up. But it takes mental toughness. pure and simple.
Yeah.
Like, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, being in sales is hard, and it's going to get harder. And if it's not hard, you're doing it wrong. And like, so I think, from a sales standpoint and from a reaching out and doing that, again, a lot of people call me too early, and I'll tell them, you don't need me yet. You don't need marketing yet. You need to just suck it up, man, and pick the phone up and make those calls and feel like an idiot or whatever feeling you're getting because you're reaching out to people and you don't want to, you feel like a beggar, you got to swallow your pride, like get rid of that ego, man. And, until you've got 1,000 customers that are banging down your door, then you got to go out and bang down 1,000 customers' doors. Listen, we should reverse this because, you built a very successful company. And how'd you do it in the beginning when you were, fresh out of college and starting a new business and,
It's funny, and I think about it from time to time, and what I did was exactly what you said was I leveraged my network. I grew up locally here in the Albany region and stayed here, so I was lucky enough to have a network from both high school and college, and I would email people that I knew, call people that I knew. Hey, this is what I'm doing now, and you have to be prepared for, well, what the heck are you doing that for? And Pat Farnan referred to that on his podcast.
Yeah.
It's you got to ignore it. You got to ignore all that. And it honestly, it helps strengthen you and toughen you when you start hearing no. It's almost like a challenge.
Yeah.
Because, when you start hearing no, and then it's like, okay, well, I can either quit, give up, and all the effort that I put into this so far is just out the window.
And now all those people are right, too,
yeah,
by the way.
Exactly. And
all those naysayers are right, yeah.
So you really learn how to grow thick skin pretty quickly, and you find a way to get it done and look at everything as a learning opportunity. Even if you hear no, well, maybe sit back, analyze, and debrief what happened. Maybe you could have done something better.
Yeah.
And what is that? And plug it in. So that's what I did. I started off with my network, landed a couple smaller clients that gradually gave us more and more work, and then I kept on with the sales piece and continuing to drive that forward. And eventually we had enough sales to where I could hire on some help and, get things moving forward. But it was all word of mouth up front. We would offer a slight discount for Google reviews or for, referring us a client. Amazon gift cards are great. We do an Amazon gift card or whatever. And people loved it, and they're happy and do a good job and are honest. But that's really how we started and continue to do that today. I still handle the sales for the company.
Yeah.
I feel like as the business owner, nobody can sell your business as good as you.
Plus, you love it.
Yeah, it's great. I love it too. So
that's the funny part too, and I think that's an important message to get through too, man. Is it sucked when you were just getting up and going? Like selling a brand new business is like amazing and awful all at the same time, right? Because you're excited, you're optimistic, but then you get rejection and it sucks and it's the worst thing ever. But I know, then years later, like you're 10 years in, and now would you rather do anything else than sell?
No, and you know what it is? It makes you realize that when you heard no back then and you kept going and things progressed, it's okay to hear no. So, we may hear no from time to time, either because, like you said, in our earlier marketing video, maybe it's not a good fit.
Yeah.
Right? And that happens all the time with qualified customers, and maybe they're not a good fit, and we have that conversation, but you keep going, keep moving, and it pays off when you do that. So you have to ignore the no's and keep pushing forward till you get a yes. So, but yeah, that's it. And overcoming that fear of rejection, let it motivate you, and motivate you to learn what you can about sales and continue to push and grow. And we have a lot of content coming in the sales world here shortly down the road. So we'll get that up, but just keep going and let that fear motivate you to not take no for an answer and keep pushing.
Yeah, it's fuel, and I think probably one of the best sayings I ever heard, and I don't know if it was Tony Robbins or I don't know if I pulled it from Sandler or where it came from, but the fact that there is no failure, there's only feedback.
Yeah.
So every time I get a no from somebody, I'm like, all right. In some cases they'll be like, all right, cool. Why'd you tell me no? Was it a price issue? Was it my delivery? Am I trying not to swear. Am I a jerk?
You've been good. That was like the first time too.
Is it me? And again, not to be needy, but I just want feedback. Just tell me so. And I literally have sent email to someone before on many, many occasions where I followed up with them via email, like, hey, hadn't heard back, and they're like, yeah, we decided to go with so and so, and I just was like, hey, listen, I appreciate that. I appreciate the response. If you don't mind, I'm always trying to do better. Would you just tell me why you went with that company and not mine? I'm not going to come back at you to try to overcome that. I just want to know so that I can be better. I've said that to people. They have given me responses. I have been able to become a better salesperson because I swallowed my ego and my pride. And instead of telling them F you, I was like, hey, I get it. I failed, but it's not a failure. It's feedback. I did something wrong. I could have done something better, and what is it? And learn from that. So.
And you never know. I think the biggest thing too is you never know who says no to you when you're first starting. 3, 2, 3, 4 years later.
Oh yeah.
It might be a completely different scenario, and it might be a yes. So, you always want to leave it on a positive note.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. There's a lot of different things that you can do. We put up yard signs. Classic yard signs. You see landscaping companies do it all the time. I mean, make sure you ask permission from your clients to be able to do that. But certain commercial plazas that, if you're in there and you're doing work, ask the owner, hey, can I pop a yard sign up? How many cars are going to see that, driving around the parking lot? It's probably going to be quite a few.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things you can do. Business cards, putting your QR codes or some sort of discount code or something on it. I mean, you can get really creative and not spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, like giving someone 10% off really doesn't cost you any money. I know that sounds like it does, but it costs you the 10%, but did it cost you 10%? Or, would you have done that job from a bid standpoint? If they were going to say yes, would you have bid it 10% less? So and I always tell people from a marketing standpoint, when you put an ad up without a reason to click it, without a reason to buy, without a discount or some sort of an offer, that's brand awareness.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to influence the way that someone behaves, you have to give them a reason to do it. So you have to give them a reason to click the ad or to say yes or buy from you. And that usually comes in the form of adding value. And how you typically add value is either with a discount, a coupon, or some sort of offer. Like, hey, pay full price, but I'm going to give you, but wait, there's more. I'm going to give you this water bottle or whatever it is. You have to find a way to add value, and that will influence their behavior. But bottom line, grassroots marketing just comes to getting out there and doing something, talking to people.
Yeah, and if clients are happy, they'll come back. So that 10% discount might lead to 2 or 3 more sales.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or something we've done recently is when we start asking for reviews, and when people send us a review, we give them 5 free hours of marketing out. Hey, say thanks.
That's awesome.
And oh my God, everybody obviously they love it, because that's
Absolutely.
Roughly $500 of free marketing, And then, but also what I tell them is if they refer us to someone, we'll give them 5 free hours as well. So now it's not, now they're going to help out a friend. Like, hey, listen, I'm going to give you, basically I'm handing my buddy $500 by referring them over, and it works out pretty well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's a sweet deal.
It is a sweet deal.
That's great. Anything else, Mike, that you wanted to add to this segment?
I don't think so. I know we went on for a while there, but it's, I think bottom line, it comes down to anything you can do yourself to tell people what you do and ask them for the business. I think that's the 2 big things.
Yeah. And we'll put up, once we do the sales segment, we'll get up some scripts and some sales, cold calling and cold emailing. We'll get some scripts up on the site. So our members can have access to that as well. So.
Yeah, I think I saw Matt Scarchilli's name on that list there somewhere. So are you going to get Sandler on the...
Put the pressure on him, but yeah, I would like to.
Listen, if you guys watch any sales stuff, watch Matt's stuff. So if we were able to get him on here, so.
All right, cool.
It's magic.
Thanks, Mike, and catch you on the next marketing.
Yes, sir.
Content piece.
Thank you.
Thanks,
everybody.
And that wraps up another episode of Blue Collar Startup. A big thank you to our sponsors, 5 Towers Media, Daigle Cleaning Systems, Daigle Fire Solutions, The Michaels Group, Martin Electric, MLB Construction, Bonaccio Construction, Peoplease, and Catamount Consulting for making this podcast possible. And thank you for tuning in. If you learned something or felt inspired, connect with us on our website at bluecollarstartup.io or email us at hardhat.bcsu@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your questions and topic ideas. Help us spread the word by sharing the show and following us on social media for updates. Until next time, keep on building, keep on dreaming, and keep hustling like your future depends on it.